You ever hear about a guy who can climb mountains in shorts, swim under Arctic ice, and, get this, consciously control his own immune system? His name is Wim Hof. They call him the Iceman. For the longest time, science just kind of wrote him off as a total fluke of nature. But what if he's not? What if what he's doing is something anyone, even you, could learn? Okay, let's get into it.
I mean, just look at this list. It sounds completely made up, right? These are things that, according to our understanding of human biology, should be pretty much impossible. We're talking about feats that go way beyond just being tough or having a high pain tolerance. This is like operating with a completely different set of rules for your own body.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one that changes everything. Is Wim Hof some kind of genetic outlier, a one in a billion superhero? Or did he just figure out how to access a potential that's actually inside all of us? Well, the crazy thing is, according to him and a whole lot of new research, it's not a superpower. It's a method, a trainable skill. And at its heart, it's surprisingly straightforward.
So how in the world does he do it? Well, it all boils down to what he calls the Wim Hof Method. And it's built on three really simple fundamental ideas. These aren't some ancient hidden secrets. They're three pillars that, when you put them together, create some truly extraordinary results. So here they are: a very specific way of breathing, gradually getting used to the cold, and then, of course, the mindset to stick with it. Any one of these is pretty powerful on its own, but the real magic happens when you combine them. That's when you can start to see these profound shifts inside your body. Let's dig into the first two.
Okay, so the breathing is really the engine of the whole method. Picture this. You take about 30 or 40 really deep, full breaths. You breathe all the way in, and then you just let it go. Don't force it. After that last big breath, you let all the air out and you just hold it. You hold your breath on the exhale for as long as you comfortably can. Then, when you get that urge to breathe, you take one deep breath in and hold that for about 15 seconds. And that's one round. You usually do about 3 or 4 of those in a session. Now for the second pillar, cold exposure. And before you start having nightmares about jumping into a frozen lake, relax. That's not how it works. It's all about starting slow. You can literally just begin by ending your normal warm shower with just 15 seconds of cold water. That's it. Over time, your body adapts, you build resilience, and you can handle more. The goal is not to punish yourself. It's to gently train your body to handle the stress of the cold. Okay, so we've got the what, the breathing and the cold, but how does this lead to running barefoot in the snow and controlling your immune system? Well, the science behind it is just fascinating, and it all comes down to using stress as a tool instead of something we have to run away from. This is honestly the best way to think about it. The Wim Hof method is like a fire drill for your nervous system. Think about it. A real fire is total chaos, right? It's dangerous and unpredictable. But a fire drill is a short, deliberate, controlled bit of stress that trains everyone to stay calm and act efficiently when the real thing happens. That's exactly what you're doing here. You're teaching your body how to handle intense stress in a safe environment. And that's the key difference. The chronic stress of our daily lives. Work deadlines, traffic, notifications. It's like a fire alarm that's just ringing constantly, day in and day out. It leads to inflammation, anxiety, you know the feeling. But the controlled stress of this method, that's the drill. It's short, it's intense, but then it's over. And instead of wearing you down, it actually builds you up and makes you more resilient to all that other noise. So let's look at what's happening inside your body in real time. The moment you start the breathing and hit the cold, this incredible chain reaction kicks off. Within about 30 seconds, your fight or flight response kicks in. A minute in, your body releases a huge surge of adrenaline. At the same time, the breathing is changing your blood chemistry. It actually makes it more alkaline. And it's this unique combination of adrenaline and a pH shift that does something amazing. It slams the brakes on inflammation. It's like you're flipping a switch that tells your immune system to calm down. You're triggering a full body reset on command. Now, this all sounds pretty incredible, maybe a little too good to be true. So what does the actual science have to say about it? And just as important, what are the absolutely critical safety warnings you need to know before you even think about trying this? Let's get into the data and the disclaimers. The most solid evidence we have is on inflammation. In one famous study, scientists injected a group of people with something that should make you feel sick. Fever, nausea, the works. The group that had trained in the Wim Hof method, they had a totally different response. Their bodies produced way fewer of the inflammatory signals and way more of the anti-inflammatory ones. The result?
They barely felt sick at all. They basically turned off the sickness response. And the benefits seem to go beyond just inflammation. Researchers are looking into how it might help with autoimmune conditions. On the mental health side, studies suggest it can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, and it seems to be particularly good at stopping that cycle of repetitive negative thoughts. It might even help with pain and improve your sleep.
But, and this is a big but, we have to pump the brakes for a second. A major review from the NIH in 2024 looked at all the research, and while they said the results are promising, they warned that the quality of most of the studies is, quote, very low. Now, that doesn't mean the effects aren't real. It just means we need more and better science before we can say for sure exactly what's going on.
Okay, everybody, listen up because this is without a doubt the most important slide in this entire explainer. This is non-negotiable. The breathing technique can make you faint. If you faint on your yoga mat, you wake up a few seconds later, no big deal. If you faint in a pool, a bathtub, or the ocean, you can drown. It's called shallow water blackout, and it can be fatal. So let me say it again. Never, ever, ever practice the breathing in or even near water.
And on top of that, this method isn't for everyone. If you have any history of heart issues, high blood pressure, epilepsy, or serious respiratory problems like asthma, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor before trying any of this. The same goes if you're pregnant. You have to be smart about this. Safety always, always comes first.
So, when you put it all together, the breathing, the cold, the amazing science, and the serious warnings, what's the big idea here? What's the main principle we should really be taking away from all of this? You know, the end game here isn't really about being able to sit in an ice bath for 10 minutes. That's cool, but it's not the point. The point is that this method proves that we can gain conscious influence over parts of our body that science textbooks have told us for 100 years are totally automatic, like our immune system and our nervous system. It's like we've discovered a hidden control panel for our own biology.
And that leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to end on. We spend so much of our lives trying to avoid stress, to eliminate it, to run away from it. But what if that's the wrong strategy? What if the real key to being more resilient, healthier, and calmer isn't to get rid of stress, but to learn how to practice it, like a fire drill, safely and on our own terms?